Hello everyone and welcome to Designing Worlds, the weekly show about design and designers in virtual worlds, brought to you by Prim Perfect Publications. I'm Elrik Merlin.
And I'm Saffia Widdershins. And this week we're visiting a growing community dedicated to a sport that's long been very popular in Second Life, wrestling.
We're here at the home of Premier Wrestling in Elston, and we're here now with the co-owners of Premier Wrestling, Vince Aftermath and Trey Steele, and by LG, who's the executive director. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so very much.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So, can you tell me how you came to wrestling in Second Life?
Well, that's a very, very, very good question. I'm Vince Aftermath, and I started about 10 years ago when I came into the game of SO Wrestling. And first, when I came in to Second Life, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but Second Life always seems to amaze me. I put wrestling in the search column, and boom, there goes wrestling popped up, and I never thought it would be in SL. Never in a million years it would be in any virtual world where other people would be there or anything like that. So then, so I put it in there, and then I went to a couple of shows and things like that, and I got addicted. I got addicted. I said, I want to do this. Again, that was 10 years ago, and it had already been going on years before I came. I was like, my God, it was meant to be. And now I'm here. That's the short version. I won't sit here and bore you too much, but that's how I wind up coming in. LG, I don't know if you want to go next.
So for me, how I came into doing wrestling was really, I'm really into building. I've always been a builder. I've always been a designer. I do graphics in real life. That's my job. And I love creating content. And what happened was a bunch of people came to me and said, we want to do wrestling and we need an arena and we need to build stuff. And that was my first kind of glimpse into wrestling. That was probably about the same sort of time, probably 10 years ago. And that's how I first got into it. I built an arena for them to do these performances, and then I was hooked as well. I was like, wow, I didn't realize it was going to be this exciting. I thought it was just going to be a little role play, and that got me hooked.
Very good. Go ahead, Trey.
Yes, I'm the baby. No, I guess I'm the baby out of these two guys. But I started 8 years ago, and how I started, I actually came from a different game where I was a wrestler on that game, but this particular person was moving his promotion to Second Life, and he showed me pictures of it on Facebook. So I was like, wow, like you're gonna take what we do from a 2D world and put it in a 3D world. So I was blown away, and I was interested in seeing how this was actually gonna happen. And I tell you, when I first saw my first show, it was a long show, but I loved every minute of it. And I was hooked. I knew right then and there, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be.
So, how did you come to set up Premier Wrestling specifically?
Okay, so the main thing is when we were thinking about even starting Premier Wrestling, we both had, me and Trey Steele here, we both had wrestled and performed prior to Premier Wrestling, in different companies and things like that. Once we finally made a decision that we wanted to start Premier Wrestling, we knew in our minds we wanted to do something a little different. Some of you know that Second Life Wrestling's been around for a long time. We wanted to try something more innovative, something that was, it was going to kind of go against the grain or a little bit, and what we did is we actually met up in real life, and we went, so we met up in real life, and we both had a clipboard, some notes, and some other pen and paper, and we sat down and we said, all right, so what can we do differently that we've seen for years and years and years? I said, I want it to be completely different, and I want it to be something that not only was just for the fans, but I wanted to take care of the performers too. So we came up with different ways of, with Premier Wrestling, paying the wrestlers. A lot of federations don't do that. We wanted to house the wrestlers. A lot of federations didn't do that. We wanted to have off seasons for the performers. A lot of places don't do that. We wanted everything from top to bottom to be different, and that's my and then also too with the ticket system. That was a huge thing. A lot of people were like, because a lot of places, when you go to a lot of places, it's you can get in there and it's very laggy and things like that. Well, having a ticket system helped out with the lag, because we put a max amount of people that can come in. So people who don't have the best computers and laptops and things like that are able to perform. And then in turn, those ticket sales went back to the performers, and it was something. It was like a little donation. It was something for them to use, because to pay for these expensive moves and things like that, again, for the performers, as well as trying to take care of our fans as well. That's from my perspective. Trey, I know you probably have a similar perspective. I'll let you answer that.
Yeah. It's pretty accurate. I mean, you left out the good food. We got good food. You gotta have that fuel for thought. But we wanted to make this. One thing that stood out to me that made Premiere different than anything that we've ever done before is we wanted to make Premiere also an actual TV show. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to make it like a television series. You see our episodes, you see our seasons. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to make it an episodic TV show where you might have your favorite character or the favorite person you like to hate or whatever is right there on Premier Wrestling.
Picking up on what Trey said, I've been over here long enough to have learned that recipes play quite an important part in Premier Wrestling and sharing recipes.
You're absolutely right. And just to add on to that, the experience of being able to create it into an actual TV show for the fans to being able to just look at some of the TVs around in Second Life. They've picked up on the shows, and now people can actually be at home in their virtual home and be able to watch past episodes of our wrestling, of our wrestling show, which that's absolutely phenomenal. A fully produced, put together show, and you get to go home and watch it with your family and role play it out. So
no, I was just saying, I remember there was a time like in the past where there might be, like, as far as wrestling goes, there might be a match or there might be a show that you might want to watch or whatever. Like say you attended last week and they announced, hey, this guy is going to be taking on this guy, be there next week. And then for some reason in real life, like something might come up or you might oversleep or whatever. You just happen to miss the show and you missed it. That's it. It's over. You won't be able to see it anymore. Now, because it's on YouTube, you can just go back. I can watch my favorite episode of Premier Wrestling anytime I want, as many times as I want. So that's the beauty of it.
And I believe you've got quite a presence on YouTube.
Oh yeah, it's growing, and this is, I always tell everybody, we are just getting started. We're doing some really we're doing some really good stuff, and the performers, I gotta give credit to the performers. They believe. They're the ones who believe. They go out there and they put on the best performance they can every single week, and it shows. And that's why we're getting that presence that we have. And I told them at the start, if you believe in yourself and if you can go out there and make it happen, the fans and supporters will follow you. And so far we're able to do that, and I'm very happy about that.
And I believe you have a rather dramatic introductory video that shows wrestling in action.
Oh yeah, that thing there, that looks. Yes, it is. It shows everything in just a minute or two. Shows everything that we're about. You know,
Man, that's a lot of action. I'm mad that I got to miss out on that.
I want to say as well on this is that the video that you're probably about to see is a video that a lot of people look at it and they go, "Oh yeah, it's edited. You did that edit." Everything you see on the video is live. We've just cut it. So things like you'll see something where someone throws a chair into the ring and it's caught by someone and hits, and it looks like we've just cut it and put it on, but that was done live. The chair actually did go. He did catch it. He does hit him with it. So everything that you see is actually what you see when you see the show live.
And if he hit him with it, he probably got suspended too, because we tell these wrestlers not to do something. Keep it clean. Keep it clean.
Wow.
That's all right. Pretty soon, I'm gonna do some cleaning up pretty soon, so don't worry about that.
About time.
Let's take a look at this video then. Wow, that was certainly dramatic.
But in fact, as well as the performance elements of the wrestling, there's a lot more going on here, isn't there?
Absolutely. There's a lot. There's a lot that goes into these shows. Absolutely a lot. They train the performers throughout the week. Train, and some of the performers have multiple. So here's how it's set up. We have an Unplugged show. Unplugged is a road show that goes on almost every single day sometimes because these shows are paid by partners and sponsors and things like that. So again, we're able to pay for our performers and things. Just give them a little bit for what they do instead of giving them nothing. So we're performing all around Second Life, and then we have our 2 taped shows. We were getting so big, we were getting so many people coming in that we had to open up a second taped show. So right now we have Premier Wrestling Overload, and we have Premier Wrestling NAW. And let me tell you, there is a lot that goes into these shows. A lot of detail, a lot of preparation, a lot of gray hair, all that good stuff.
tons of videos, productions, logos, branding. The list goes on and on.
Yeah, and I'm sure our executive director here, Mr. LG, will definitely tell you that.
Yeah, I have to. But what's important as well is Premiere isn't a place where, if you're somebody new and you've come into Premiere Wrestling, you put the time in and you get through the training. We don't treat you differently to anyone else who's been on the roster for, say, 5 years or whatever. You get the same as everyone else. Everyone in Premiere to us is a superstar, regardless of where you are in the story. If you are a belt holder, you're a superstar, and we will do our entire best to push you in the light of the audience and the crowd and give you that platform that you need to really entertain people. We don't sort of shine people away because they're not as good. We help them develop.
I want to bring on another thing. And I said I wasn't going to go into detail, but I got just a little bit here. When it comes down to when I came into the SL Wrestling game, I was brand new. I was actually brand new to Second Life. Okay, and I want to just kind of add on to what LG here said is we don't care how old you are. If you're new coming to Second Life, if you're watching right now and you want to get into the game, you can be 1 day old. Come on. We're going to give you a chance. Because there are places when I first came in that didn't give me a chance. And I get it. I understand that. But the security concerns and things like that. But there are people who watch our shows on YouTube. And they want to have some fun too. And we're going to give them that chance. And they're going to go out and they're going to have a banner. They're going to have a picture. We're going to give them the opportunity.
So, how do people become involved in Premier Wrestling?
Well, it's really easy. Actually, on all our videos, we have at the bottom we have an application form on there. You fill that application form out. It gets sent to our talent acquisition manager. Then what we do is and I want to touch up on that too. Is our application form is not a long book. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because we want to get to know you. Okay, so we ask you a couple of questions, and how to get back in contact with you, and then we have the interview. We talk to you. We want to get to know you. Not just put a whole form of just so many questions. We want to get to know you to get you into the game. So our talent acquisition manager sends you through the process, and then hey, you start training. We got a little orientation course that we use, and then our head trainer. We have a amazing system that has produced some really, really good superstars over the years. Cool.
You spoke a little about characters and the backstories. How does that work?
Well, you know what? Trey Steele here, he's really good at that type of stuff. And characters and the backgrounds and things like that. Trey, do you want to kind of touch up on that a little bit?
All right. Yeah, I guess I'll take a swing at it. Characters, how does that usually work? Usually here, we kind of let people be themselves, like what they want to be.
Good point.
And we try to help them the best way we can be that character. Sometimes we'll take a look at a person, we'll see them go out there, or we'll see them try to be this character, and we might see something. We as veterans, that's what I mean when I say we, is we might see it and say, hey, that character might not work out for you. Let's make some adjustments. Like, you could probably be that same character, but let's make some adjustments to make you stand out more. Just throw ideas out there. Just throw them against the wall. I'll give you guys a little tidbit of information. Mr. Vince Aftermath helped me develop my character in wrestling, the Treet Steele character, because when we first met, I was in the process of changing my character, and I kind of had an idea of who I wanted to be, but he put some things out there, and it's like, hey, this week I want you to go out there. I want you to stand on top of a table and just act a fool. And go out there and do this and do that. And I did it. And I'll be like, you sure about that? And he was like, yeah, do it. I'm telling you, man, it was going to work. And it worked. So then the next week he'll say, hey, I want you to go out there and, well, I don't think you ever told me to do this, but it's just an example. Go out there and take selfies of yourself. Really? Yeah, do it. And that's what I did. It's just people just gravitated towards it. So that's how we kind of help develop characters. Everybody have their own imagination, and I don't want to be the one to I guess dwindle down anybody's imagination, because some people's imagination might be broader than other people's, and we just want to help you bring that story to life. And not just, but go ahead, LG.
No, I was just going to say, and if you're somebody who comes in who's got no clue who you want to be, the team you're going to see at some point, the training team, there's so much skill in the training team with the knowledge that they've got, and they are so versatile actors that they are able to help you find who you are going to be, and you might not even know who you're going to be, but they can slowly sort of peel away at the layers, and they find it with you. And it's not kind of like this is who you are, or you come to us and you're kind of like, this is kind of where I want to be. It's an amalgamation of two people, the whole team sort of working together to find you. And I think that really shines as well in the videos. When you see the characters, it's not so much of a stretch for the people to play them, because there's a part of them in that character.
Right, so it's almost like an improvised drama.
Correct, and correct, and a lot of times, and this is one thing I'm stressing. I'm gonna look right into the camera, and I'm gonna say this. To the wrestlers out there, people who want to be wrestlers, or the wrestlers that's already wrestling, use your matches. I hate trying to be a coach at this moment, but use your matches to also tell that story of your character. That's what I love to do. I mean, that's me, even though I'm not wrestling right now, but that's what I love to do, is just get in there and put a show on and tell the fans a story with my matches. That's what I like to do the most.
Now, the backstories, I believe, can be quite complex, but the shows largely focus on the wrestling elements, I believe. So how do your fans follow the ups and downs of these stories?
The fans, I mean, just watch. You can just watch, and every week is something different. It's like you at the same time of a show, you'll have like maybe 3-4 different stories going on at one time on one show. So you might see Vince. He might have a story with me. And if you want to keep seeing this story between me and Vince, you have to watch that particular show. And it'll continue on for weeks until, it might end at the season finale, or it might end 2 or 3 seasons from now. We never know. But that's the way you can follow, is just to watch our YouTube shows, or you can come here live and watch it.
I'm sorry.
It's the same thing.
Were you talking about like reading me a book story or something like that? Because I just want to let you know, really quickly, what we do is real. So it's still real to me. It's still real to me. I had to put that in there. But no, you're absolutely right. But sometimes it can get real serious in there. It really can. Yeah. It can get really serious.
we always try and make it. I mean, a lot of our wrestlers, we make it. It's real. It is. We try and make it as real as we can to us, because we know if it feels real to us and it we can believe it's real, and we are impassionate about the story that we're trying to tell. That comes across on the camera, and you can believe that we're really trying to do it. Also, a lot of the wrestlers who perform here, if you like that wrestler and you start following that wrestler, they have their own kind of like little social networks and stuff, and they will post things about their story on there as well. But you won't damage the story. So if you were to not see them elements, it wouldn't make it so you had no clue what was going on. But that would add to the story. It would give you like a little bit of a behind the curtains kind of thing of what's going on when they're not in the ring. But nearly all the time, what you see in the shows, you'll see the full story from beginning to end during the segments, and there's quite a few of them per show.
You do have quite an active social media presence, I think, with a very lively Discord server that I've been peeking into. Is that important, having things like the Discord server?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. It's Discord helps in a lot of areas. It kind of brings us a little closer to our fans and our supporters that we have, and it keeps them updated. Oh my gosh, I mean, I can't tell you how many times, or how many events we have going through through the week and throughout the month and things like that. So it really keeps them updated. Also, too, for organization purposes, we have a lot of wrestlers. Oh, my goodness. A lot of performers, not just wrestlers, commentators, managers, all of them. And it just keeps it keeps everything organized. And Twitter, it helps keep, people want to know when we're in the off season. People want to know when we're starting the season, So keeping that lively as well. Social media is so vitally important. But one of the things I keep pushing, though, and I know they all get mad at me over here, is our YouTube. YouTube is important. That's our I guess people would say bread and butter. That's where our majority of our fans like to see our shows, and it shows on there. So go ahead.
I truly think without Discord we would struggle to do what we do, just because of the having to organize what the shows and having people kind of like in the groups, and we have different groups, so we have different. Well, I don't want to give it too much behind the curtain scenes because it's real, but there's a lot of groups going on, and they're talking and they're sort of like communicating to people who are in the show that you maybe can't hear some of the things that are being said. So it's a great place for us to kind of be behind the curtain giving instructions to make sure that the show that you see is exactly how, the most amount of energy and the most amount of clarity, if you would, within the viewership. And I think without Discord, I think we would struggle. We really would.
So you're actually building using all these different social media techniques and what have you in portraying the wrestling. You're building a really rich community, and I gather the participants actually get paid.
Absolutely. Yep, they get paid, and if we could pay a whole lot more, we would. But of course, there are some things that. So yeah, we're still in the early stages of this thing, and we got some really cool things that we're going to be trying to implement in the future. I mean, because like I said, we don't get paid a whole lot, but with the new ideas of, like I said earlier, is housing. What place gives you try to give you free housing. We have a piece of land, and we try to divide it up a little bit, and you get your own little area, your own little section and things like that, just to they work so hard. Oh my goodness,
they
the performers
really do.
So hard.
I just want to say as well, Vince.
Yeah, go ahead.
Vince sort of says they don't get paid a lot, and I know why he says that, because Vince wants to pay a lot more. I mean, we all do. We want to pay lots, but you've got to remember that they get paid per show that they do. And I'll tell you now, some of these wrestlers are wrestling every single day, and they get paid for every single show they do. And at the end of that this week, at the end of the week, that really does total up. They're definitely on more Lindens than I am.
Well, the good see, and now just that there's a lot of things that go into play. So if we get more ticket sales, if we get more partners, sponsors, and things like that, when we continue to get all those different types of revenue streams and things like that, we're able to do that. You know, we are literally the only wrestling organization that does this. You know, and that's, like I said, when we started this thing, me and Trey, we said, how can we change it up a little bit and give our fans and supporters the best show possible? And that's what we came up with. So, yes, we do pay our performers.
And you also offer more social events. For example, I saw on Discord that there was a chance for people to go bowling together.
I'll tell you one thing. That is the executive director right here. He really pushed for that. You know, sometimes you gotta kind of get away from the wrestling a little bit, because let me tell you, and I'm gonna let you take it away, LJ. I just want to say this real quick. Is the adrenaline? You gotta think, we get about 40, 50, 60 people that come to these shows, and when I tell you the adrenaline of the going through you out there performing, because you don't want to mess up. You don't want to mess up, or you don't want to lose either. I'm just letting you know, you don't want to get your butt whooped. But, you know, all that adrenaline, you just need a time to kind of just relax. And, you know, LG here, he thought that was a good idea. So, LG, you want to explain that a little bit?
Yeah, no worries. So he's exactly right. It's a very, very it's a stressful environment. If I was to say it wasn't, I would be lying. We work so hard, and when you're out there performing with 3 or 4 different people, you're working so close with them, and during training with them, I shouldn't say that there's training of the matches, but there is going to be heated disputes and things like that, and it gets very tense. So we wanted to make it so that the roster itself was so close and so tight. Also, another thing that's important, just before I go into what it is, we say some nasty things to each other. We really do. I mean, that is part and parcel of the performance. We have to say, you know, particularly strong and nasty things to each other. If you are not friendly with that person, and you don't know them, and you don't understand that, you know, what you can say and what you can't say, things can get a bit heated. So having these social events that we do, and we do all kinds of social events, from Halloween to Christmas to bowling to paintballing. I mean, the list goes on. Arcading, going for beers. We do karaoke. We do singing night. You name it, we've done it. And it's all set up by a person called Sarah. And believe it or not, the wrestlers love bingo.
Wow, great.
Yeah, it's real popular. So the all of these things, we get together and we laugh and we cheer and we have fun, and we let our hair down, so that when I go into the ring and I have to do a really nasty promo with Vince, just behind the curtain, again, it's real. You know, we don't really hate each other, but we can sometimes. Yeah. But I can say anything I want to Vince, or pretty much anything I want to Vince, and I know that once it's over, we'll have a laugh about it. And that's really important, because to go to the limits we need to go to make it feel real, we need to have trust in each other, and also we need to know that each other's got our own backs and that we support each other.
Now, there's lots more to see here, but first we'll take a short break.
And you can join us again after these messages, so
don't go away.
Designing Worlds is brought to you by Garden of Dreams, offering the finest in natural and fantasy environments. Designing Worlds is brought to you by Dutchie. Live your dreams.
welcome back to Designing Worlds, the show all about design and designers in virtual worlds. Today we're visiting Premier Wrestling, and we've come now to the training area.
And we're joined here by Danny Thunder, the chief trainer, and Honey Potts, who is also one of the wrestlers. Danny, if we can start with you, what does training to be a wrestler involve?
Well, it involves a lot of stuff. First of all, the new ones that want to be the next superstar. So in this case, the next wrestler needs to know the basics of our system that we use here, and it's the prime art. And also, they need to know, of course, how to stay in the ring, because it's what we do. We stay in the ring, we perform, and we have a lot of matches. So they have to focus on that, and most of all, they need to know all the moves and all the system, how it works. So it's a lot going on, and basically they will get to know our system. So one day they can be part of our roster.
Fantastic. When people decide that they want to train, do they have to buy loads of kit?
No, because everything is free. Our system is free, so they can get that, and then we give to them all what they need. So we are talking about the training kit. So it's the main outfit, and then we give them the basic animations, the moves, so they can perform with that, and they can come out with the training session. So it's not a lot, but it's useful for the training session that we'll have.
So they can work with the basics and then add on more.
Yes, of course, yes. In fact, our training session it's known as basic training session, and after that they are free to go. Let's say this, and they can add all the moves that they want, so they can build up their own character, and like I said before, be the next superstar of our roster.
So, how long does it take to become a proficient wrestler?
That's a good question, because the answer is personal. I mean, it depends by the skill of the rookie. It depends also by the attitude of the person behind the rookie. So I can say it may take 1 month, but it can take also 2 weeks or 2 months. We never know. It depends by the rookie and the person behind.
How do you get to appear on the TV shows?
They get to appear on TV shows, first of all, after the basic training session. So after that, they graduate into the roster, and then all the performers in the roster, they can sign up to be in the shows. And we have a lot of shows, so for sure they will have the occasion to appear on that.
With all the storytelling elements, it does seem quite a big commitment. Do people just do the occasional bout, or do people get really involved in the backstories?
I can say both, because before I said that they have this training session, but they also train their attitude in our federation. Because if they get involved in something, yes, they will have a storyline. So it's a big deal, because they will work on something that we regard their character. So they will build up their gimmick, and it depends by their attitude how they will deal with that. So in my my personal opinion about this, and I will talk a little bit about myself, we always have back storylines. My back storyline is from 10 years ago, more or less, because I've been doing this for a lot of years now. And after a long break that I took from the cell wrestling community, I came back here, bringing back my old storyline. So there is a backstory behind the storyline that I'm having right now. So this goes for everyone here in this federation. Of course, it's different for the new ones, because they just came in and they will build their own storyline, their own background on that. So if we have an experienced wrestler, of course he has a background, and she will work in a new story as the time goes. But if we get a new person, he will build up his own future here.
Perhaps we could see part of a training session.
Yeah, of course. I will be glad to show you what we are doing here at this moment. Right now, we are having a sort of a training session, and we have all the rings filled up with the performance. And at the moment, we have some rookies that just graduated into the main roster, practicing a bit with the trainers. Because, yes, I'm the head trainer, but I also have a team. And I have a lot of trainers working with me, and I'm proud of them because we have to deal with a lot of stuff during the days. So 3 days a week we have these training classes where it's open not only for the rookies but even for the roster, because our refresh is always good to have with the new ones, and we always try to pair them up so the new ones can confront themselves with the veterans. We call them veterans because we've been in the scenes like me from a long time. So it depends by the classes, because we run basic classes where we just do a run with all the moves that we got, and also we have referee training and manager training and commentary training. So it's a lot of stuff. That's why we have a high number of trainers and also a number of rookies. And at the moment, we are trying to have these trainings so they keep improving.
That was wonderful. Now, Honey, I believe you're one of the female wrestlers here. Can you tell me how you got involved with Premier?
Well, I actually was friends with one of the other wrestlers, Isaiah the Hornet, and he brought me to see a match, and pretty much after that I was hooked. And I actually started out being an extra, and I would do little roles like I would play a security guard or a medic or something like that, and then they're like, hey, do you want to get in the ring? And I'm like, how do I do that? And then the rest is history. Went through training, got in the ring, and yeah, now I'm now I'm one of the female wrestlers, and it's a lot of fun, and I have a blast doing it.
Just out of interest, what's the proportion of female wrestlers here?
We've actually got a lot more recently, but when I first started, we did not have very many, but it has grown by leaps and bounds. There's a lot more women coming in, which I'm very happy about, and I mean, for the most part, there are more male wrestlers than the female wrestlers, but you can't tell, because, I mean, we pretty much have the shows very divided up pretty evenly now, because we have a lot of female talent now.
That's great.
Excellent. And one thing about female wrestling at Premier, I gather, is that there's no emphasis on appearance. It's all about skill and expertise.
That is correct. I mean, we range in size. I'm one of the smaller wrestlers. I'm only 5'3" and 123 pounds. And then you've got our biggest wrestler, Nikita, who is 6'6" and 255 pounds. So we run the gambit from, small all the way to really big. And the styles that we wrestle in, the way we look, it is all over the place. And I think it makes it really interesting and entertaining to see all the differences that we all have and that we all can see.
Absolutely. And I believe you've been closely involved in taking Premier Wrestling to an event that's very important to you.
Yes. We have been getting involved a lot with a lot of charity work for Relay for Life, Strides Against Breast Cancer, and several other events that promote cancer awareness and just raising money for it. We just did a show not too long ago for Strides Against Breast Cancer, and we raised over 50,000 linden for that.
Wow.
Cool.
And I am very closely into it because I am a current breast cancer patient and survivor. So it's something I really hold close to my heart.
Absolutely.
Right.
And everybody here at Premiere has been exceptionally supportive, and they have gone out of their way to show that we do care and that we do want to do a lot of these charity shows. We want to show that, hey, this is important and we do care and we're going to help. And we've been making great progress. We've been in contact with a lot of different organizations that all support the different charities for cancer research, breast cancer, and then there's other charities that we're going to look into getting into as well, because there's so many things out there that affect so many people, and a lot of us in Premiere have been affected by cancer in one way, shape, or form or another, and it feels really good to go out and help, and that's one of the reasons why I started doing that.
I think it's also a sign of a really strong community that you can do that.
Yes, we have a very strong community here, and I kind of call it a gigantic family because everybody cares about everybody else here. It's the outpouring of care and concern for each other here is unbelievable.
So, Danny, can you tell us a little about the end of the training process and what happens with graduation?
Well, the end of the training session recently is fun. And when I say fun, it's because at the beginning I came up with this idea to make a sort of a rookie show. And basically it's the show where the rookies end the training process and they are ready to be part of the roster, and they have this graduation match that we call test match. So I came up with this idea to make this show and name Thunderbolts because I was just trying to find something for them, and this idea came like a reality. So now we have this show for the rookies, and when they've done with this graduation match, they go straight to the roster and they become the superstar, the next one for Premier Wrestling. So they do this graduation match and they're ready to go to be in the main shows.
And how do people get accustomed to the grand shows you put on? I imagine that takes some training too.
Yes, it does. It does because we need to be sure that they can make it. So yes, they have a tough training because we run the basic training, but also there is the advanced training, and it's something more. So we need to see if they can make it, and also we have to see if we can rely on them, because we need to be sure that they can make that show. But yes, it takes a lot of time.
Honey, I understand you've done the specialist training. How was that for you?
The specialist training is very difficult. It takes a lot to even get to the specialist class. You have to complete all of the other certifications that we have. And then you have to go through a month-long class every week. And you learn so much. It's insane how much we actually did in that class, but it really fine-tunes you to make yourself a better wrestler, being able to do more with the HUDs that we use, and how to act, how to respond and put yourself out on social media. It covers everything, every little detail, and the instructor Ace is a perfectionist and he demands perfection. So it's not an easy class to get through, but it is possible. So if I can get through it, I think anybody can.
I'm sure you did a fantastic job with that course.
And the actual shows are what we'll be seeing next.
But while that is preparing, we've enlisted the services of our trusty and incredibly talented photographer, Wildstar Beaumont, to reveal more of the amazing Premier Wrestling community. And now we've come to the actual arena where the major tournaments and filming takes place. And we're joined again by LG and by Honey Potts, who, as well as being a popular wrestler, is also a commentator on the events.
I must say, this is a fascinating construction. Can you explain how it works, Honey?
Well, basically, we are at the commentator's desk right here. Sometimes it gets broken, but, we take it as it comes. But we are basically dead center, so we get to see all the action, and we get to, tell the fans what's going on, because we get really the best view in the house. And it's really key and crucial, because sometimes our fans don't see what we see, so they know what's going on, and we are here to basically kind of guide them along through the matches, let them know some of the backstory that we're doing with the wrestlers that are in the ring, and we're basically the storytellers, really. And I mean, the construction of this place is just phenomenal, honestly. And we have that wonderful gentleman to my right,
Yes.
Mr. LG. And he's our little dynamo when it comes to construction here.
It is an amazing, amazing place. And yes, the commentators get a fantastic view.
Yep, we really do. They get pretty close sometimes, especially when they go through the desk. So, yeah, sometimes you get a little bit too close for comfort, but, for the most part, we do have the best seats in the house, and I love it. I love watching the matches. They're amazing.
Commentary is such an important role because it really, like Honey said, it paints the picture, and it also helps extend the stories. We can remind people about the stories, and a lot of people who watch the YouTube videos or watch the stuff, sometimes they don't like to see the visuals, they just like to hear. And with the comms team, that the work they do, they allow them to really see the picture in their mind without actually visually seeing it. We have users as well who are blind, so they are able to hear the action as well.
That's brilliant.
Isn't it? Marvellous. So how many bouts would you have in the average show?
Generally, we have anywhere from 3 to 4 matches, and then sometimes we have some segments in between. But yeah, usually it's about 3 to 4. For maybe the finale, we might stretch it to 5. It has happened on occasion, but for the most part, yeah, it's 3 to 4.
How many people can attend a match?
I'll let you handle that one.
Yeah. So we have a ticket system. The ticket system is designed to basically reduce lag, to stop so many people turning up, because we noticed that on our unplugged shows we just open the door, and what happens is we get a lot of people, which is very hard for the wrestlers to perform in. But when we're performing at our partners and other places, they are doing it, and one of the reasons they're doing it is for the traffic, and they want people to visit their sim, they want people to see what they're doing there. Whereas here at the show, our main focus is the YouTube, so we want to get the best visual. So normally it's normally 20 people, but I think they've extended it to 23 people. So that's 23 people, not including all the performers and everyone else.
Do you live stream the events, or are they filmed for later viewing?
All of our shows are filmed, and then we edit the film, so they aren't live streamed. But there's not that much editing going on, so it's kind of like what you see is pretty much live.
So where do people watch from? Do they sit next to the special characters? And I must say, it must have taken ages to create all. Although I don't know if you've noticed, but I think there are some multiple births in the audience.
Yes, there's some clones, aren't there? Yeah.
So this was Vince's idea, and the reason what it was is originally we made the arena, and we realised we'd never have enough people to fill the seats, and the rest, the crowd that comes to see us, we noticed as well, they never sit in the crowd. They always stand around the ring. So we used to have these
Yeah.
empty seats, and when we used to show, we'd have a lot of people at the arena, and then we, also when you're recording, you know this, Rick, that you have you have friends only on to try and reduce the lag. So we found that you'd only see these wrestlers in the ring, and then there'd be no one, and it looked very empty. So we decided we were going to put these people in. And yeah, there's a lot of copies. We tried to get the low prims, but there's a couple of custom ones in there. And we do eventually want to try and get some animated ones, prims willing, because we know how much animation takes up,
Yeah, right.
Oh, well, I would love it to have a customized Saffia sitting here.
Very good.
We'll see.
So if you've got so many people who want to come and you have essentially relatively few slots for them, how do you ration out the tickets?
Okay, so we normally do on a first come first serve basis. So we kind of put out that there's tickets, and then they all come flooding in and they buy them. As you can guess, with there being such a low tickets, they normally do get sold out. There is other means of getting tickets that don't involve the tickets machine. So we have like partnerships on our Patreon where people are able to get a ticket. We have some like #1 fans that are given the group tag, and they don't have to get a ticket because of the stuff that they've done with Premiere or for Premiere or the the amount of stuff they've done with us. And friends and family sometimes, I've got to be very careful how I say this, but sometimes for particular friends and family and important people, VIPs, we do give the occasional ticket. But then Vince tells us off.
So, let's take a look at some of the wrestling bouts.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match is for your main event for the Season 6 finale. We have first coming out from Egypt at 6'4" and weighing in at 249 pounds. It is the one, the only, the Ace! Ace is coming down to ringside here. He's ready for this match. He is one of the most hated men in this business here today. And he's ready to walk out of here with that championship. And his opponent coming in from Manchester, England at 6'5" and 265 pounds, accompanied by his wife. He is the Hunter! For this match, it is for the middleweight championship. It is a TLC match, again, that Ace had given against him. If he walks out of here today, the only way to win that belt is to walk out of it with it. And for a special adjustment, Ace should force him to bring Kira to ringside. And this match is starting off hard. Hunter going straight for Ace, bashing away at him, giving him a beautiful kick there, absolutely sending him flying. Hunter goes for the ropes there, but Ace slides out at the last minute. He's after Kira already. Quick, Hunter gets out there, goes after to save Kira before Ace can get a hold of him. Ace smacking him. Ace absolutely bashing away here at Hunter here, beating it. Oh wait, he's got him up at the top rope, grabbing him. Oh no, he's going through the table. Kira quickly goes over to check on Hunter after all that. Looks like Ace is going for the top there, going for the ladder. He's trying to get the belt. Wait, Kira pushed the ladder out of the way, but Ace jumps down and hits it. But Hunter comes in with the chair! Oh! Hunter slamming him against the ladder repeatedly, kick after kick, bashing him away, trying to bust him wide open here. He's got him against the chair there. Hunter goes up for a few rounds, and right through the table! Right through! Oh, he sets up the chair there. He goes for the top rope and drops both. Oh! Goes through the table. He's going for the top rope, but he misses. Ace rolls out of the way at the last minute. Oh no. Hunter going in for Los Tres Amigos. One through the table. Through the other table. What is Hunter going for the belt here? Ace goes up. He goes over and he hits him. Takes him out from ladder to ladder. Both men are down. Oh, Hunter leaning up against the barricade there. Oh! Ace puts him through. No, Kira absolutely cracking him right there. Oh, that one looks like Ace is deciding here. Going after Kira, but Hunter is in the ring. But he's deciding, but back and forth here. Which one does he want to go after here? He should really... Oh! And he goes for it. Running up the ladder! He's going for it! He marks him! Started beating right away, just absolutely pounding right away at him. Ooh, right in the back. Kira he's trying to walk away. Catches him with a beautiful kick by Hunter into Ace. Oh! Hunter tries to hit him, but Ace rolls out of the way and delivers a devastating missile drop kick. Tables right there in the corner. He's setting up. He's going to go for the mark again. He's going to try to put it through, but Hunter rolls out of the way at the last second. Both men are at the top. They've got... Oh! Hunter laying in, but Ace follows it up. Look at them. Oh no, what? They're both going over through the tables! Oh, Hunter is covered in splinters and the blood is in the water. Both these men are absolutely battered. He's going for it, but... Oh! Ace has got Kira, but BK! That's BK! He's come out! He's just said he would help his opponent there today and would help Hunter, but wait! He's holding Kira! He's holding him! What is he doing? Hunter going back in. Hunter may have got the belt, but now he's handcuffed him to the ropes. Oh no! BK's walking out with Kira. It seems that he betrayed Hunter. Ace and BK. What a devastating match that was.
That was fascinating.
It certainly was, and now we've been joined again by Vince Aftermath and Trey Steele, the co-owners of Premier Wrestling. And I have to say, gentlemen, you're building a fascinating and highly interactive community here.
Absolutely. This is where the magic happens. This is where the magic happens, and it's growing. And like I always say, we're just getting started.
Now, I believe that one of the things that's important to you is building partnerships.
Partnerships are important. We wouldn't be where we are without our partners either. You know, and what a guy used to tell me back in the day. You know, you need it's community building communities. So and I believe that so much. So what we may not have, someone else may be able to come in and help, and vice versa. So. We have very good sponsorship packages and things like that. Again, able to if we're doing good, you're gonna be able to do good. And the more you invest in us, the more we'll be able to market and put ourselves out there even more and more to again more eyeballs on your products and on your business, on your organization. Our marketing team and our management team overall. Does an extraordinary job getting
Amazing.
getting sponsors and partners and things like that. And you know, it's coming to a point where you know more people are coming to us instead of us trying to figure out how to find them. You know, which is great because we're as they say, we're open for business. So.
And I understand you have other plans for the future too.
Yes, we've got many plans within the actual premiere itself, but we're also trying to spread out and we are trying to connect with other sports in Second Life, basketball, football, you name it. And we've got a couple of connections, a couple of hubs that we've also connected to, and also some Discords. And we are trying to grow sort of sports as a whole. Of course, we're always connecting with any partners that are out there, and the marketing team, like Vince said, does a great job of going to places and actually physically telling them about. Because I think a lot of people think that when you say wrestling, they don't think of it like a business. And as you've seen with what we've been talking about and the things that you've seen already, we take this very seriously. And it is a business to us, and we want to make sure that these other businesses in SL, these people who are really working hard to put out content and things like that, get benefit from some of the views and stuff that we've been getting. But we're going to continue to grow and get bigger and bigger. I mean, at the moment we're bursting at the seams, and I imagine we're going to burst at the seams, and then we're just going to keep on going and going. But I think really at this point we don't know where Premier's going to go as far as like what could happen at this point. We sort of surpassed where we thought we would be, and right now we're in the unknown, and it's a fantastic place to be. And we have had so many unbelievable opportunities given to us, and being able to meet people like yourselves and other people, and just being able to be involved in so much, not just the charity stuff, but like Second Life birthdays and things, and just opportunities we never even fathomed that we would have, and that's, it's unbelievable, and we can only expect more in the future.
There is so much to see, but sadly we don't have time to show everything. But it's been fascinating to see this exciting community and learn about how it works and its plans.
Yes, indeed. And you can find full details about Premier Wrestling via their YouTube channel, or you can come over to Elston and see for yourself.
We're coming to the end of the show now, and I'd like to thank all the people of Premier Wrestling for their time and tales that they've shared with us.
Thank you all for even taking the time out to do this for us. We really, really appreciate it. And like I always say, we're just getting started. Understand that Premier Wrestling and Second Life in general, Second Life Wrestling and Second Life in general, provides something for everyone. So come on down, watch us, enjoy the show.
Don't forget that if you want to see this program again, you'll be able to catch it on the Designing Worlds channels at Vimeo or on the Designing Worlds and Prim Perfect blogs.
Next week, we'll be having a show from our archives, a dip back into the past that hasn't been available for many years.
But for now, we must leave you and wish you fair winds and clear waters.
Fair winds and clear waters.